Greetings, viewers. This is CP666 signing on for a video of this machine once again, the HP Pavilion A320n. Done a couple things since you saw this machine. Go ahead and turn it around here. You will note that it looks quite a bit different at the back, and that there is now no more power supply, and the I/O shield has definitely changed. If you remember from my PC build way back in December, I had this Intel motherboard laying around, so I went ahead and put it to use. It's going to go in here, and the ultimate plan is for this thing right here to replace the stream encoder computer down there. Now there are a couple of things that are a little bit iffy about this. Number one, I need to change the CPU cooler because the Intel plastic pushpin piece of junk is junk, as previously mentioned. And, as well, on top of that, there's a couple of things that need to work. I've got one PCI slot to work with, and that's obviously taken up with this capture card. That is actually a Hoppage WinTV PVR150, and I'm sure somebody is going to get on my case about not pronouncing it Hop Hog, but frankly, I think that Hop Hog sounds stupid, so I'm going to pronounce it my way. If you really want to pronounce it a different way, download the video, edit it out, and put in, you're saying it correctly. And then everybody will be happy. Anyways, because I've only got the one PCI slot, the onboard sound has to work, and the onboard Ethernet has to work. If either of those two things don't work, then this whole thing is a wash. But I do actually have another capture card I could try here if that capture card happens to not work. So, what are we going to do? I'm going to pull the side cover. I'm going to also pull the motherboard because I am going to be installing an aftermarket cooler. Before I go ahead and pull the board, here's the aftermarket cooler. It's a little cheap, deep cool HTPC 200, meant for mini ITX applications, but it'll work just fine for this because the chip is a 65 watt TDP chip, and this cooler reports that it's good to 95 watts. So, ultra thin design for home theater PC solution. You can go ahead and pause the video to read that. Turn it off the video light, you might be able to read it a little better. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Doesn't really say much on the box. It gives you a number. Say anything on the back? Not really. Other than some things here. It does say that it supports the LGA 775, and there it is right there, 95 watts. So, okay. Go ahead and open it. You got a components listing. You get the cooler itself, which is definitely low profile, you can see there. Remove before installation. I wonder if it comes with thermal paste already installed. Somehow I don't think so, but I guess we're going to find out. I can't actually tell. Then we get a box of hardware, which I'm going to go ahead and open somehow. What do you get in here? Okay, is that everything? Oh, there's a bag of screws as well. And it looks like thermal paste. Well, that's going to be really annoying to install. I wonder if they expect you to use all of it? I'm guessing they do. Probably not very much in there. Anyway, here's all our lovely hardware. Hoping that everything that is here that needs to be here, well, hoping that everything that I need is going to be here. Also curious how this would be installed onto the board. So I guess I'm going to figure that out. Pull the board out, pull the old heatsink off, clean it off, and then get this thing ready for installation. Here is the cooler installed. Now, a couple tips on mounting this cooler. The backing plate, well, there isn't really a backing plate. You are supposed to put the thumb screws in from the back. So this would really have worked a little bit better if I had a case with a removable motherboard tray. But I don't, so I didn't do it that way. Just had to carefully install the thumb screws. And the way to do that is to do it alternating one corner at a time. Sort of like that, or some other way like that. You do not want to tighten one corner all at once, because if you do that, you'll get uneven pressure and you can really warp things that way. The other piece of advice, do not over-tighten those thumb screws. Basically tighten them until they stop. If you over-tighten them, you'll damage your board. You'll probably flex it quite a bit. So just do it until they stop. It should be good enough. I did end up using all of the thermal paste that they give you in that little tube. It really wasn't all that much. There was a big air pocket in it, which kind of concerned me a little bit. But, well, did it first, but there was enough thermal paste. Actually, probably a little bit too much thermal paste, but I put it all on there. I don't know if you were supposed to, but I did. So, and yes, I did actually find a broken push pin in my motherboard. So my little push pin cooler, this little piece of crap right here, is going bye-bye. Here you can see the contact pattern from the previous CPU, which isn't too bad. It might be a little bit thin, but that's not that bad. It's too bad I had to waste Arctic Silver 5 on that stupid push pin cooler. But we're going to find out if the system actually survived the ordeal here in just a second after I put it back in the case. Okay, the board is in the case, as you can clearly see right now. And I've got a piece of advice for you. These screws here that go into the board, do not over-tighten them. Basically, just go till they stop, because if you go further than that, what you will do is you will scrape off the insulating material that protects the motherboard from those screws, and then you'll short some random component to ground, and something will either blow up or nothing will work at all. And then you will be left scratching your head while you have a dead board. Been there, done that. And to quote Max Arcade, I think I invented new swear words the day that I did that. So yeah, please don't do that. But this cooler with its really awesome looking red fan is installed. Looking pretty nice. Everything is there. I'm not going to plug in any of the expansion cards. I'm just going to grab my power supply, which is a 350 watt HEC. Don't really know how I feel about the HEC brand, but, well, it feels like it could be honestly specified, so, and it's pretty much my only option left anyway. I have that featherweight piece of crap Coolmax I could put in here. That'd probably be right at home in here, because it's only got one serial ATA port, but I don't trust that thing. And I'd rather use the 80 plus HEC supply because it's honestly rated and this isn't going to use a lot of power anyway. So I think that it's going to be okay. If not, at some point I can probably just get another power supply. It wouldn't be too big of a deal. But I gotta stop yakking and start working. It's getting fairly late. Okay, this is the honest-to-goodness first power-up. This monitor connection is kind of loose. I'm not real enamored with that. I think something might be broken. But, well, I don't have any other video cards, so I'm just going to go ahead and blithely try it. The system did not turn on. I do see an orange standby LED in there. Maybe. Actually, I don't think I do. Let's try and get the power to come on the system. Push the power switch. It came on. You can see the fan turning inside the case. I feel air coming off the power supply. And power on self-test, baby. Power on self-test, baby. It works. Go into setup. Beat yourself. Everything looks okay. 4 gigs of RAM. And hardware monitor. That is so much better. That processor thermal margin. It's not the CPU temperature, if you're wondering, on this board. Go ahead and zoom in here. The processor thermal margin. That was reading about 27-ish previously, so that's like, what? Quite a big improvement. And I'll probably improve even more when I actually get the, when I burn it in a little bit. But, what that is that is the amount of temperature that it can gain before the, I think it's either the CPU gets damaged or the thermal throttles or something, but that is the amount, or that's your margin. That's how much margin you have to go before things go bad. Fan control. I did have it set to aggressive. I may also put a fan in the back of this case. I don't know if I have one. I might have to go look. But I think I can probably put a fan in the back of this case, and that would do very well. Is this other one? No, that one doesn't have a fan either. So, everything looks like it's okay. So, we are ready to proceed. Exit setup. Setup entry key detected. No bootable device found. That's normal. Alright, so I'm going to open the case back up and install the peripherals, including the hard drive, which is going to be temporary for now until I've confirmed that this is going to work as a stream encoder and it's going to work well. And then I'll take the hard drive out of the current stream encoder and put it in this. Where'd my focus go? It just kind of disappeared. Okay, getting ready to install the hard drive, and this is a relatively simple process. All you need to do is make sure you don't knock your computer over, slide it to the unlocked position, grab your drive, bad sectors and all, if yours happens to have those, and very carefully just slot it into the holes and hope, pray, you're not going to mess something up. Now, you gotta make sure you're not going to get in the way of any of the front panel indications. It looks like I'm not. Looks like it's installed. Lock it in place. So now, it's not going anywhere. And you gotta cable it up, of course. So, let's see. How does this get cabled up? I need to have a serial ATA cable, don't I? Yes. Actually, that other one isn't any lower profile than this, so I'm just going to use this one. I don't know if that's installed. That doesn't seem like it. I didn't go in there very reassuringly. Maybe it is. So I'm going to go get my serial ATA. Actually, do I need to go and get one and stop the video? I don't know. I don't think so. I had one sitting out. Of course, goodness only knows where that's gone. Probably into another project. This particular juncture, yeah, I don't see it. There was one sitting out, of course. You know, I go to use it, bring it out, don't use it, and then when I actually want to come back to it, somebody's either borrowed it or it's gone missing because I put it into some other project. So I will be right back, thanks to the magic of videotape. Yep, just as I suspected, I put it away. So, anyway, now I gotta pick which serial ATA port I'm gonna put this on. I don't suppose it really matters, since it's probably gonna be the only serial ATA port that gets used. But because this is a right angle connector, I'm gonna use one of these bottom ones. So that way if I want to put another drive on this... Oh. Hold on a minute, that's backwards. Wow, okay, so I guess I can't do that. So I'm going to just put it in this one then. That's how I'll do it. I don't know, that's backwards. So, one of the... Yeah, these ports are installed upside down. I don't know why Intel did that, but they apparently did. I just noticed that now. So, this should all be pretty much ready to go for an operating system at this point. I've installed the card. I've installed all these optical drives with this really tight-fitting ribbon cable. Like, seriously tight. In fact, I'm amazed that actually goes in there at all. Probably isn't even going to work. But everything is installed. There's no floppy drive. I can't install a floppy drive in this. There's no floppy drive controller, even though the header is on the board. The solder pads for a floppy drive connector are there. They just didn't populate it. So, oh well, can't have everything, I guess. So I will be right back, put the side panel on, put the front panel back on, and we will get ready to go for an OS installation. Okay, we're back here with the system. My next trick, after putting all that in, is to check and see if the front panel USB is going to work, and if this thing will actually support USB booting. So, click on the power switch at the back. It'll come on, because it's configured for that. And you hear the hard drive turn on. Well, I got a solid orange light on the front of the case. I don't really like that. Which probably means something's hooked up incorrectly. Spam delete. So I'm getting the system set up. And make sure that everything is seen correctly. Boot configuration. Oh, that's probably not what I actually want. Drive configuration. So let's see. AHCI. Serial ATA is all there, but it does not show me IDE. So let's go over to boot. Boot device priority. Looks okay. Hard drive order, I'm going to change that. Oh, here we go. Something's making a squealing noise, and it's really irritating me. I can't tell what it's coming from. What if it's the monitor? It's probably the monitor. Alright, well anyway. So that's all set up. It does say USB flash. So, hopefully... So let's see. I do see UEFI. Disable that. That's junk. Alright. No, I don't want to do that. I want to save my changes. Yes. Make sure that I'm actually recording on the camera, and hopefully it will boot to USB. I did see it recognize the USB. Intel. And what next? I see the USB activity. A little bit of USB activity. Quite a bit of USB activity, and Windows is loading files. Awesome. My front panel USB works. So I'm going to let that go into Windows Setup, make sure it's actually the correct version of Windows Setup, and I will come back once that is done. Okay, Windows 7. Next, install now. Please do not ask me for my product key. I would appreciate it. I don't think it asks you that until the second part of setup. Okay. Windows 7 Professional 64-bit. I had deleted the EICFG on this. I want Professional, not Ultimate or anything. Actually, hold on. Do I want Ultimate? Where's my Windows 7? Where's my Windows 7 CD? My installed disk? I think I might actually want Ultimate. To be honest with you. Windows 7... Yeah, Windows 7 Ultimate was 60 with Service Pack 1, so I do in fact want Ultimate. Better install the right one. Alright, custom install the unallocated space on... Ooh, actually, no. New partition. Make it, what? 80960? Apply. That is fine. So, there. Install to that. 79 gigs, good enough. And the rest of this will be used as unallocated space. I'm going to transfer this over to the other drive directly after I'm done. This is actually going to be for storing all the extra files. So, we'll click on next, and then that process will begin, and that will probably take forever. Okay. Just as I was about to retire for the night, I managed to get it to work. Have a look. That is awesome. There are a couple of issues with this card, and I know I ran into them before, but my input size is non-adjustable. It is stuck at 720 by 480. But I'd rather it be stuck at 720 by 480 than stuck at something like 320 by 240. So, if I change that, the program crashes. So, I'd imagine it would do the same thing if I were to change the frame rate. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to test that theory right now. I'm going to save a profile to the desktop just in case, and let's see what happens if I try changing the frame rate to something else. Oh, it works. Okay, well, it didn't blow up then. But if I change this to a different... I wonder if maybe the issue was that... If I change the resolution, it goes out. Oh, now it's making me a liar, isn't it? Oh, here it goes. Yeah, so it must be the widescreen resolutions it doesn't like. That's kind of strange. When I boot it back up, it's gonna default to some weird thing here. So I'll reload my XML, and everything is now working. So that's the output from this camera. Definitely does some very interesting things. And don't get any funny ideas about that either, because I do not have any of my RTMP details loaded. So, yeah, don't even try that. I did try putting OBS on this machine. That didn't work. So, well, I guess as long as I have video and all of that, should be pretty well good to go. And I realized I forgot to do my video transition. Whoops. Oh well, doesn't really matter. So, I'll come back to this tomorrow, let it install updates overnight, and then we should be able to... we should be ready to put a signal into it and see if the audio works. And hopefully it will. I did disable jack detection, so... although I think that only applies to the front panel. I'm not sure if that's going to work for the rear of the machine. I'm sure that if I unplug the line in, it'll screw up, but I always plan on having stuff plugged in there anyway, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Well, that kind of sucks. I had to change my card. So you can see I've now got an SAA 7130 based card in there. Hope that it's going to work okay. If not, at some point down the road, I should be able to take the hoppage card that's in the current Dimension 5150 and put it in here. I don't know what's going on with that other card. It just... the picture was okay, everything was working. You go to hit start, and it restarts the whole program. Or at least it seems to. It would never actually start a broadcast. So, I'm really hoping that this Philips card is going to work. It's given me some issues in the past with working, so... although, maybe those issues won't be quite as pronounced using a faster machine than I was using previously, so... I guess only time will tell. I just hope that it's all gonna work. For whatever it may or may not be worth, here are the Windows Experience Index scores. Pretty weak on the graphics, but who cares? The processor and RAM get a pretty decent score. Hard drive, of course, is going to be limited to a 5.9 because it's a mechanical drive, but I think it's going to work out. Just as long as my audio works, my video works, my AV synchronization is good, those are the last things that I need to check. Well, this kind of sucks. Got everything all ready to go, and then found that I can't actually use this tuner card that's in here either, because nothing will connect to it. So I can't use it to import video. Well, I could. I do have a program that will do it. I managed to find one in my stash. The debut video capture software will do it. But it looks like crap. Just disappear. Let's see there. Just looks terrible. So the quality of the captured video is not really all that good. It seems to be limited to 320 by 240. Several different options for 320 by 240. I can't really do much to it. I'm afraid to select VCR input. That should all be fine. I shouldn't have to... I don't even know if I can. Let's just default it. I don't really think there's much I can do. 'Cause it doesn't really matter what I seem to select. It doesn't really look all that good. If I capture a video, just a brief one, it's not going to record any audio or anything like that, but just brief testing. I'm sure that's going to give somebody vertigo. And I go look at the recording that it made. You can see the quality is really quite bad. You can't even read anything on the screen. So, that's junk. I'm gonna have to go get the card out of the other machine. Try that, and if that doesn't work, then this whole project's a wash. Well, got the card, installed it. However, I've noticed one thing that is probably going to put an abrupt stop to this whole thing. This card, the Hoppage WinTV, whatever it is, I actually don't even remember. Does it actually tell me? Or does it just say... Yeah, BTPCI. That is a Connexant 878 based card. And if I remember right, the Connexant drivers are not multiprocessor safe. So this could go about as poorly as I'm expecting it to. I am going to check a couple other programs first. I have a program. It didn't immediately throw the system into a stop error. I wonder... Okay, forget that mess. If I could come in here... Ooh. Well, it doesn't give me a lot of options, but I think I'm going to leave it alone. Video composite. Well, let's try plugging something into it, like this camcorder, for example, which is already set up for this, theoretically. The card's not screwed in place. Okay. Well, I got picture output. Yeah, we definitely have a picture. Like I said, it didn't immediately throw the system into a stop error. So, I think, if I remember right, this Dell is hyper-threaded. But I don't know if that would be enough to trip whatever issue this thing has or not. Let's see what happens when I close the program. Now again, it didn't immediately drop the system into a stop error. I'm going to do a little bit more experimentation, see if my media encoder will actually work, and then I'll come back. Well, it's in there now. As best as I could get it, at least for the time being. See if it works, or if it proceeds straight to the scene of the crash. Maybe even the fire. And I'm going to get to see if I actually hooked everything up correctly. As mentioned previously, it takes a while for this thing to post, but it looks like it just done so. Or at least it's gotten started. Probably going to auto-adjust it. Oh, here comes Windows. So, ye old Dell over here can sit around for a little bit. I'll leave it configured as is for a while, just to make sure that the new one is actually going to work properly. But after that, I've got plans for this to upgrade another machine that's really starting to get kind of tired. So, at least get that started. Well, it didn't do too bad of a job auto-adjusting to that. Probably not going to have my keyboard and mouse, but I'll come back when I've logged in here. Okay, I got audio going through it now, as you can see there. Got it all nice and set up. Turn down the line input so that way I could have a little bit extra headroom. I have it muted right now so that way it doesn't, I don't get kneecapped by a record label. It sounds pretty good. Initially, when it was turned way up, I had to turn off my... let's turn on the video light. I had to turn off the EQ and turn this way down, because apparently the Realtek audio chipset on this card does not have the same kind of headroom that the Ariel Vortex 2 board in the old encoder had. So, but it's a good thing I could turn that down. I just got to make sure it's not clipping or doing anything equally as irritating. And then I got to set up my output, and then I can test it, and then that will be the end of this project. Let's wrap this up. I have the old machine sitting right here, powered on, transferring files. And the new machine is over here. I've just done some testing with it. It seems to be working. The only negative thing I think I can say is about this new cooler. The temperatures seem kind of hot. I don't know if you can read that with the instant zoom or not. I also think there's a little bit of a DC offset problem with the audio, but I don't have any PCI Express audio cards. I don't feel like going out to buy one, so this should certainly do. I can't shut it down because I'm actually transferring. Oops. Oh, I forgot. I don't actually have Task Manager. I can go over to the Performance tab, and it looks like it's doing not too bad. The network is gigabit, so that will really help because I changed my transfer program, my video import program for the 8mm stuff, and the new program shoots uncompressed. So the file size ballooned from, about 100 megabytes, if even that. For the same file, it's a couple gigabytes now, so quite the big increase. So having gigabit will certainly improve that situation, so I'm hoping that everything is just going to work. I'm going to leave the old machine configured for this for now, just in case there are any issues with this new one. But as far as this video is concerned, that's pretty much a wrap. So, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Actually, I don't even think I finished my thought about the cooler. The cooler, it's a low-profile cooler, so the temperatures I don't think are too unexpected. But still, I think that 80 degrees on a desktop CPU is a little bit on the hot side. It is still better than the Intel cooler, which was running at about 80 degrees at idle, whereas this is not. This is about a 30-degree improvement. Let's say maybe a 20-degree improvement from what that Intel pushpin piece of junk was in terms of idle temperatures. So that I think is good. But thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Things that I think I'm probably going to get for this otherwise, not really a whole lot. I think the only other thing that I'm going to really need is a new card reader, because even though this one does show up, it doesn't look like any of the actual drives work on it. So that's kind of interesting. Might have to do some more experimentation with that. But This is CP666 signing off, and I hope to see you next time. Till then.